Well, after a couple of weeks of just pure suffering, we finally made it. The end of this breathtaking trilogy. We've made it through Dead Space 1 together and Dead Space 2 together, and although it's been filled with many deaths and many setbacks, I enjoyed it. But we are here now. It is time to finish Dead Space 3, so sit back, relax, and let's just get right into it. After cucking my boy Norton, I got ambushed by a bunch of unitologists. I was separated from the rest of my team and was forced to fight my way towards them. I only aimed for in between the eyes in order to ensure a quick and easy death to those who oppose me. The last thing I would want is for a unitologist to suffer. Just like in Modern Warfare, the shotguns in this game destroy me. It was to the point where the blast was so powerful that it managed to split my body in half. Unlike the Mitten Squad, I do make the same mistake twice, and ended up seeing my internal organs more than once. After seeing the front of a 12 gauge more times than I'd like to, I came across these little crawling heads that reanimated the dead. I guess now, aiming between the eyes was mandatory. I stopped to gaze at this beautiful shot, and made it to a room with a giant drill. This is what it must feel like to be a toy inside of a prize machine. The claw had it out for me, so I made sure it clearly understood who it was messing with. I shot the yellow thing it had inside of it, which caused it to lose control and eventually die. The claw drill was guarding the door leading to this huge frozen necromorph called the Nexus. Now, according to Santos, this was apparently the thing that could pinpoint the location of the machine needed to turn off the markers. Going inside of this creature and stimulating it could give us the location we are looking for. Before doing that though, I had to do a couple of things first. Number 1, I had to turn on this generator. Number 2, I had to turn on this generator. Number 3, I had to watch these men commit the act of dying. Number 4, I had to fight these stalkers. Number 5, I had to find and collect the parts needed to assemble the Nexus probe gun. Number 6, I had to completely embarrass this giant snow creature once again. And finally, number 7, I had to assemble the gun. After assembling this gun, I realized that I cannot beat this game with only the revolver, so the challenge of course has failed. I made the Nexus open its legs and proceeded to slowly insert myself into it. Now inside of it, I shot the pods that provided only the best pleasure for it. Its orgasm released tiny little feeder sperm to try and attack me. I wiped them all out, and I repeated this 3 times, and after the final orgy, I left the beast only to find out that Norton was jealous of me. He locked me up in this cage, but like the dumbass he is, he forgot that I could just use stasis to get out. I went after him and got my nose cracked. It turns out that Norton ratted us out to Danik just to get rid of me. Danik promised Norton a way out of this planet, but Danik, being the main villain of this game, decided he was going to kill us all instead. We all got into a little skirmish which led to the Nexus coming back to life from out of nowhere. My trusty revolver was all I needed to show this Nexus who Daddy was. It realized that I was too powerful, so it decided to eat me. I don't give up easily though, so I pumped its innards full of lead, causing it to vomit me out. With the Nexus defeated, Norton was up next. He was tired of being cucked by me, and I got tired of hearing him complain all the time, so I decided to silence him once and for all. I took the picture he had of Ellie and hid his body where no one would find him. Ellie was finally all mine. I met up with her shortly after killing her boyfriend and told her all about it. Of course, she was not too happy about it. But he was dead and there was nothing I could do about it. So instead of grieving, we had to get to the top of this mountain. Climbing up together though could cause an avalanche, so I decided to climb it myself. I realized that after I took on the Nexus, I had little to no ammo. So I decided to run past any enemy I could in order to try and conserve as much ammo as possible. After dying to absolutely nothing and doing these annoying climbing sections, I made it to a lift that I fixed in order to get everyone else up here. Everyone except Santos. You see, the giant spider beast I couldn't kill came back and took her life. All of this could have been prevented if I just managed to kill the beast when I had the chance. Filled with rage, I decided to hunt it. This game suddenly became a bootleg version of Monster Hunter World. I used these traps in order to finally kill the beast by ripping it in half. The death of the beast brought joy to me, but it could not bring back the ammo I used on it. Oh, and it also could not bring back Santos. You will be missed. Before dying, Santos told us that we needed a key called the Codex in order to actually be able to turn off the machine. This key had to be built using the Rosetta research. Me, Carver, and Ellie decided to go into the lab in search of it. While in the lab, we found parts of Rosetta. Rosetta seems to be some sort of an alien instead of an actual research paper. It was time to put her together. I went around the different areas of the lab looking for 3 parts of Rosetta that were missing. This was not at all easy. This revolver is garbage. This game is garbage. I, for one, am garbage. These feeders nearly made me break my keyboard and mouse. However, knowing the fact that I wasn't financially stable enough to buy a new one, I decided to control myself. Getting these 3 parts single-handedly was the hardest thing I have ever done in all of the 3 Dead Space games combined. The stalkers also posed a threat. They were everywhere and they one-shot me even when I'm at full health. I'm normally a very calm guy, but this section of the game almost made me yell at my own mother for no reason whatsoever. Another problem was that this game just loved its ambushes. It felt like every area that contained a Rosetta piece had way too many enemies in it, some of them that would just spawn out of nowhere. Again, I didn't want to waste my ammo, so I made this part a lot harder than it had to be by trying to run past them. It ended up working out, but it wasn't worth it. The game had already broken me mentally. I no longer felt enjoyment while playing this game, just pain and a burning passion to finish it. I rebuilt Rosetta Stone and unlocked the secrets of what's beyond our known universe. It turns out that the machine was built to stop convergence from happening by freezing everything on this planet. The Codex turned out to be the key to both turning the machine off and ending convergence. This troglodyte found this out and took the key from me. Ellie died and I ran after Danik. Now a lot happened while trying to get to him. Let's see. I got the top half of me completely erased by another shotgun. I blew someone up using their own rocket. I turned a few craniums into silly putty. And I got killed many times trying to get past all of these enhanced slashers. Eventually though, after unlocking this door, I found out that Danik was trying to descend down into the planet's core. While rappelling down to him, I got the opportunity to get revenge on these leapers for all the times they did me dirty. I took out some of his goons, and I also came across this weird alien necromorph. This creature was very powerful, but it stood no chance against my stasis and my ability to run right past it. As I kept descending lower and lower into the depths of this planet, something did not feel right. After my rope snapped, I saw bootleg Elton John reach his destination. I unlocked the door using a weird alien language, and this led me to what was giving me that weird feeling from earlier. I came across this huge underground alien temple. That green pillar at the end of the temple was the machine we were looking for and my final destination. Me seeing that Elton was getting closer to the machine, I hauled even more ass than I thought possible. I ended up tackling him, and me and Carver fell deeper into the temple. Luckily though, I also had the Codex with me. One of those aliens came charging at me, but I disposed of it quickly. My mind was now at 100% concentration. All I had to do now was get to the machine and use the Codex to turn it into the fuck convergence setting. Before I could do that though, I had to finish a couple of steps. The first step was to match these Cthulhu tentacles to the image on the left side of the wall. This will open the gate to Agartha. Step 2 is to realize that this whole thing is actually the machine. This is not a temple, it's not a city. That green pillar from before is not the machine. This entire area is the machine. Step 3. Step on this pad in order to have enhanced stasis and telekinesis and rip through your enemies. Step 4. Get murdered again and again by stalkers until the amount of times you died is equal to 3 times your age. Step 5. Turn on this generator. Now this could pose a challenge, but just be good at the game and you should get past this one with no problem. Simply make sure these rods have matching ends and bada bing bada boom, you now have power. Step 6. Now go back to the Cthulhu tentacles and make sure that they match the other picture and boom, you did it. Fly your way to the main area of the machine and eject these symbols off the wall. Take care of some unitologists and place the symbol in their respected holes in order to open the door. Once you're inside, just climb all the way up. I died a lot doing this, mainly because I have an inability to use common sense. Once you reach the top, you have successfully reached the heart of the machine. I was ready to put the codex into the machine and finish this once and for all, but Elton John's doppelganger came out of nowhere and held my girlfriend at gunpoint. It was either humanity's life or my girlfriend's life. Since I couldn't decide, Carver decided Ellie's life was more important and gave him the codex. Convergence was now commencing, and as a reward, Danik received a huge spike through his colon, ending his life in an instant. Everything was falling apart. I gave Ellie a big old smooch and told her to get out of here. The only way to stop Convergence now was to fight the Brethren Moon. Me, Isaac Clarke, was somehow going to find a way and destroy that moon bastard. I ran my way towards the moon, getting rid of these lackeys, and thrusted my way past these bloodborne demons until I reached the other platform. My balls were drenched in sweat, and my ass was clenched harder than a piece of iron, but eventually I got to the moon. The door exploded, and this caused my mask to receive a small scratch. Angry at what the moon did to my mask, I thrusted my way to it in glorious fashion, and was now ready to fight. This three-eyed moon actually looked pretty cute at certain angles. I ripped my mask off and was ready for the final battle. I stood on this platform that allowed me to use telekinesis at its full capacity. This allowed me to rip the limbs off of any necromorph I wanted at will, making me truly an unstoppable force. Unfortunately, the damage the revolver does on the moon is about the same amount of damage you would do to it if you poked it. I instead decided to use these markers that were floating around everywhere and threw it at the moon's eyes. Once the third eye popped, the moon attempted to try and take the codex from us, but me, being the intelligent man that I am, used my telekinesis and forcefully pulled it out along with the moon's intestines. I hopped on the platform and I turned the codex upright. This caused us to fly back into the debris, and with one final look at Ellie, I accepted my fate. Isaac was beaten and broken, but came out on top in the end and stopped Convergence. The moon crumbled, and that was it. Ellie realized Isaac died, but congratulated him for saving humanity. Ellie went back to Earth, and the game ended with a final shot of the dead moon crashing on the planet. As all of you may know by now, Isaac's not really dead, since there's still DLC that clearly shows that he's alive. But I won't be covering it. With that said, the question remains unanswered. Can I beat Dead Space 3 with only the starter weapon / revolver with no upgrades in impossible mode? Well, when you consider the fact that I did upgrade my gun during this run, then no, I did fail. However, no suit was upgraded, so I think that alone calls for an applause. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Be a good pal and comment down below any challenges you'd like to see me do. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.